Is this physique natty? What about this one? Or this one? And I know what you're thinking. No way this guy's natty. He's just like every other fitness YouTuber, fighting for clicks and views, while hypocritically lecturing you about hard training and strict diet. Meanwhile, he's blasting steroids in his bathroom every other night. And if you think that, you'd be wrong. Believe it or not, I'm lifetime natural. And if you're a guy that's tired of not making gains, struggles with motivation, or is on the fence about hopping on gear, before you do anything, you need to ask yourself, are steroids worth it? How important are genetics? And most importantly, what's actually possible as a natural lifter? Also, if you're new to my channel, I'm Tanner Shuck. I'm a former D1 athlete, professional CrossFitter, and coach with over 15 years of experience. But am I actually natty? So I'm accused of doing steroids every day, and I'm fully aware I have an above average physique. But all I can say is, I have nothing to hide from anyone, and I'll even prove it to you by revealing my testosterone levels later in this video. And I get it. You should be skeptical. When the social media algorithms are ruled by the Sam Suleks and Noel Diesels and C-Bums of the world, you think everyone with a good physique is on steroids, especially if you're a young, impressionable kid or a guy that's never truly trained hard with average genetics. Social media deceives you to think that you have to do steroids to achieve a good physique. But here's the thing. You actually don't. Using myself as an example, yes, I'm strong, lean, and jacked. Even Greg Doucette said I have a mid-natural physique, whatever that means. Now, do I look like Sam Sulek or Noel Diesel? Absolutely not. Nothing about my physique screams steroids. I've just reached my peak natural genetic potential, which is what every lifter should do before they ever consider taking steroids. Now, would steroids be faster? Absolutely, 100%. Steroids are going to make you way stronger, way bigger, and take you way beyond your natural genetic limit, and then some. Again, using Sam Sulek as an example. And for the record, I like Sam Sulek. I'm not talking trash about him. But he's a kid in his early 20s, and just look at how strong and jacked he is. I mean, is that possible naturally? Obviously not. And I'm not saying he doesn't work hard, because he clearly does. But trust me, there's tons of dudes that train just as hard and just as consistently, but still look nothing like Sam Sulek. So, are steroids worth it? Now, before I tell you what I think it's better you hear what two prominent fitness influencers and former pro bodybuilders have to say about steroids.
Taking steroids is a fucking fool's game. Trust me when I say that. I've been there. Guys, I'm telling you, bodybuilding can fuck you up. Your balls don't come back to the right size. Injecting exogenous testosterone into your body. And your body says, hang on, there's too much testosterone here. Let me not produce anymore. I made the mistakes, so you guys don't have to make it. I'm here to advise you.
Somebody who's taking steroids has the same risk factors as somebody who's morbidly obese. I compare a professional bodybuilding champion who looks the fittest with the best abs, the best muscles, and the dream physique. To me, that person's just as unhealthy as the person who's morbidly obese. And remember, I am a bodybuilder and I did steroids, so I realize this. Now I'm trying to undo the damage that I did in my younger years. When you take too much, it makes you feel sick. You can't sleep, you have anxiety, you feel bad. So you're on so much steroids that you actually can't wait to get off of them. And since that time, I stopped taking steroids. I went 6 months without using them whatsoever. Had absolutely no sex drive, no energy, couldn't sleep proper, erectile dysfunction, and I had to go to a doctor and an endocrinologist to prescribe me HRT, which is testosterone. So that's technically still a steroid in low doses so that I could be normal again. So just having done that, it screws up your head. I would never have done it. I only did it chasing the dopamine.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and speak to you all sanctimoniously and pretend I've never thought about taking steroids. Of course I have. I even have pro bodybuilder friends in the industry that I've collaborated with who are open and honest about their steroid use. So please know, I make no judgments about using gear. It's a personal choice. I just personally choose not to use steroids because they're not healthy. I mean, you heard Greg Doucette. He even compares big, bulky bodybuilders to morbidly obese people. And think about it. Steroids raise blood pressure, thicken your blood, weaken blood vessels, damage internal organs, and increase the risk of heart attacks and cardiovascular disease. And I didn't even mention the other side effects, like testicular atrophy, acne, and gyno, also known as bitch tits. And I'm not trying to be insensitive, but what about guys like Rich Piana, Joe Lindner, Dallas McCarver, Sean Roden, and the Ultimate Warrior, all guys who tragically died far too young from steroid-related deaths. So in my opinion, the rewards aren't worth the risk. And personally, I'm not trying to be a pro bodybuilder. I'm happy being a lean and muscular 210 pounds. And this is a physique that I've worked for. I can maintain it. And most importantly, I'm healthy. But Tanner, that's easy for you to say. You're only jacked because you have great genetics. Seriously, every time someone tells me this, I want to punch them in the face. I don't have great genetics. I mean, have you seen my parents? My dad is 5'9" and my mom is 5'6", and I hate this, but both of my parents are overweight, and neither of them ever had incredible physiques or were exceptional athletes. I have average genetics or slightly above average at best, but what I do have is exceptional work ethic, consistency, and discipline. So how important are genetics? In short, You cannot control your genetics, but your genetics do not make you fat and weak, and your genetics don't make you lean and jacked either. Now, I'm not saying genetics don't play a role, but I am saying your genetics are not what's keeping you from achieving a lean, jacked, natty physique. I like to use this analogy. Your genetics may load the gun, but it's your lifestyle that pulls the trigger. It's how you live your life. It's what you eat, how you train, how you sleep. Your genetics do not do the work for you. Here's another example. Let's use LeBron James, undoubtedly one of the most genetically gifted athletes ever. Do you think LeBron James is LeBron James just because of his genetics? Do you think LeBron James is the NBA's all-time leading scorer only because of his genetics? Do you think LeBron James doesn't work hard or has never worked hard during his unprecedented 21-year career? That is ridiculous. I'll give you another example of why genetics are not as important as you think. Here's two identical twin sisters. One's skinny and one's obese. They have the same genetics. Here's two identical twin brothers. One's a marathon runner and one's a bodybuilder. Again, they have the same genetics. So you must understand, your genetics aren't the reason why you're fat and weak instead of lean and jacked. Your weak-ass mindset, lack of discipline, and shitty work ethic are the reason why you're not lean and jacked. Anybody can be lean and jacked. And I mean anybody. Here's a fact. The same laws of physiology and biology apply to all able-bodied humans. So regardless of your genetics, if you're willing to work hard enough for long enough and eliminate excuses, you can burn fat, build muscle, and become the best version of yourself. You can achieve a lean and jacked physique. Now again, I'm not saying genetics don't matter. Obviously they do. 99.99% of us will never look like Arnold, Ronnie Coleman, or C-Bone. But when you blame your genetics, you make yourself a victim of your genetics. You completely disregard the importance of self-belief, consistency, and discipline. And guess what? If I stopped working out right now and started eating like shit, in 6 months, I would look just like any other average middle-aged fat guy that doesn't train hard or eat well. No one will be telling me, "Oh wow, Tanner, you have such amazing genetics." Because I don't. So do not let yourself be a victim of your genetics, and never use your genetics as an excuse. When you blame your genetics for your average or shitty physique, that's blame shifting. That's eliminating personal responsibility. And that's a weak ass mindset. That's what a pussy does. I think we can all agree that we can all work harder, be more disciplined, eliminate excuses, so we can all become the most jacked, best versions of ourselves, regardless of our genetics. Now, most importantly, what is actually possible as a natural lifter? And before I go any further, it's important that you have realistic expectations. If you're natty, you're never going to look like Sam Sulek. You're never going to look like Noel Diesel. You are never going to look like a guy who takes steroids. So never compare yourself to a guy who's enhanced. But that being said, it is shocking what you can achieve naturally if you're not afraid to work really hard for a really long time. And I'm saying this with humility, but I've been able to hit a triple body weight deadlift, a 35-pound strict muscle up, and squat over double my body weight for 10 reps, and maintain a lean and jacked physique for the last 20 years. And if you still don't think I'm natural, I tested my testosterone 6 weeks ago, and it was 4.87 nanograms per deciliter, which is in the mid-normal range. And I'll take a drug test anytime, anywhere. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I've been training for a very long time, and I am much more disciplined and consistent than the average dude. But who in the f wants to be average? Not me, and hopefully not you either if you're watching my channel. So let's just imagine a world where you've optimized your training, nutrition, and sleep. You train hard, lifting weights 3 to 4 times a week, prioritizing the compound lifts, adding weight to the bar as often as you can to ensure you're getting stronger. You eat real single ingredient nutrient-dense foods like steak, eggs, chicken, dairy, fruits, vegetables, rice, and potatoes. And you make sure to get at least 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal lean body weight. You sleep 7 to 8 hours per night. You respect yourself enough to avoid eating low-quality shit food, getting high on drugs, or poisoning yourself with alcohol. Now imagine you do that consistently for at least 12 months straight. If you did that, do you think you would get stronger? Do you think you would get jacked? Do you think you'd get lean? You're fucking right you would. And not only that, you'd build the physique that you and you alone worked for and can maintain. I guarantee you don't even know what's possible for yourself until you try. And the sad fact is, most dudes never even fucking try. They train like pussies, make excuses, blame the genetics, or just hop on gear, which they almost certainly later regret. I guarantee over half the battle as a natural lifter is just showing up to the gym consistently, having a plan, and not being a bitch. So eliminate excuses, quit blaming your genetics, and don't be afraid to work hard day after day, month after month, year after year. If you do that, there's no doubt you'd build a strong, lean, jacked, natural physique. That's all I do, and that's all I've ever done. You change your mindset, and you become obsessed with becoming the best version of yourself. And if you do that, there's no doubt you'll stay motivated as a natural lifter. That's it. If you need help with your training, try my Straight Up Strength program for free. Links to my supplements, apparel, and everything else are in the description. Please like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.